Hello and welcome to the World Builders Library. I'm Lewis Nichols, and recently I feel like that we've gotten a smidge off track. Today, we're doing some simple, straightforward, and all-around old-fashioned world building. First draft of a setting we will call Valerith. This feels like good therapy already. My process for the video started with snagging some questions from my development document. You have to be careful what concepts you start with, because they are destined to become the most important. The first question I plucked was, are there any homebrew rules that make this a special build? I noted it and moved on. We are just collecting prompts here, not making any decisions yet. Next was, where are the best magical staffs made? Then, how often does the weather change? At this point, I figured out that I had made an accidental presumption. At some point, I unintentionally decided this is a flat world, which prompted a map concept to pop into my head, and now it's a pocket dimension. Some more minor things off of the list. Governments. What's the hottest? What's the coldest? What's the tallest? What's the deepest? What's the oldest? And finally, how do people choose their careers? This is when, and I'm still not sure why, I decided to use this video as an excuse to codify my Tabaxi Rules 2024 update. They are a somewhat common species, about 1 in 100 or so, in my primary campaign world, so it's something I need to do. Yay, multitasking. We'll start there, and we are going pretty much as presented by Mordenkainen Presents. Universally, coloration can vary dramatically, so can size, really. But here on the yet unnamed pocket dimension, okay, well, I spoiled that, didn't I? We named it. We got a little help from ChatGPT, and we came up with a Larovia. No, I'm just kidding. I need to stop naming things that I cannot pronounce. So that's when we came up with Valerith. But you know that because time travel. On Valerith, there are 3 subspecies of Tabaxi. The Royal Tabby. This is a medium humanoid, 30-foot movement, and fluffy, white, long hair, house cat looking. I'm picturing these guys as being highly fashionable, that this long hair is braided, so tiny braids all over the exposed parts of the body. Then we've got Thom Bobs. They are small. They are a bobcat archetype. Then we have the Myrrh, or Desert Toms. I'm just going with Tom. Tom is going to be a very common name. We're just going to ride with it. These guys are a cheetah archetype and have a 35 base movement. And of course, a lot of their traits they all share. They are all humanoids. They all have cat's claws. They can use their claws to make unarmed strikes. When they hit with them, the strike deals a d6 plus strength or dex. It's slashing damage instead of bludgeoning damage. Cat's talent. This is proficiency with perception and stealth. And they're not human, so dark vision, 60 feet. Feline agility. Your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of the turn. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you move 0 feet on one of your turns. When you are using a name generator of any sort, including your own little brain storming away, make sure you don't just stop at one. While you're in that vein of thinking, write down everything that is available. So the other names generated by GPT that we might use, and we will use a lot of them: Felinaris, Regalia Claw, Throne Mane, the Sovereign Pride, Moonwhisker Veil, Silvershade Dominion, Lunarin, Clawcrest, Bloodmare Reach, Sharakai, Iron Whisker Hold, Meowindor, Purador, Catria, Paulorium, Emberpelt Dominion, and there was a few more, but we're going to have to stop there. The 3 species are highly segregated, with each ruling separate states. Most of these are oligarchies. Other species include gnomes in the hills. These are our enchanters. They are the makers of staves and other strong magical items. These items are made from twistwood roots. The twistwoods are trees growing in the gnomish hill country. Some of them measure over 1,200 feet tall. The tallest on record is the Old Braid at 1,700. These trees are bizarre in that they will twist about as they grow. Now, this isn't something you can actually see them twisting about. They twist around over time. Sometimes they twist right back to the ground and reroot themselves. The staves are harvested from mines running under the trees. Several of the land's gods, such as Oricitus, god of the twistwoods, imagine that, and Selinus, god of the deep lake, directly support the gnomish possession of these forested hills. Despite this, wars have been fought over the centuries, leaving their mark on the land surrounding the gnomish region. Astronomy. Anytime you make a weird fantasy world, you need to spend a little time thinking about the space around it. Valerith has a sun, very much in air quotes, that sits over the southwest quadrant of the landmass. Essentially, the pocket dimension sits in a bowl formed in the astral. The main continent and its surrounding islands operate about how you would expect them to, just for different reasons. It's a saltwater sea, there are tides, there is weather. Now back to the sun. It's a big ball with fiery light emanating from one side but not the other. It's a sentience of sorts, a god with limited free will. Billiard spins steady, creating a 24-hour day, much for the convenience of anyone trying to play in this setting. At night, one can see into the astral and gaze upon several dramatically beautiful objects. The twisting helix of Meswana, the glow glob of Ushandra, and the sparkling river of 1,000 wonders. Both Meswana and Ushandra are personified. That's not really the right word, I guess. They are associated, strongly associated, to gods of their own with corresponding names. That seems like the middle of the video, so it's time to remind you, oh so gently, to press the like button. I'll mention that if you've gotten this far, you must be feeling some level of value here. So maybe, I don't know, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. Tell me if you've seen my TikToks. In fact, tell me how you first discovered this channel. Alright, that's it. Back to the action. Weather. Surprise, the southwest is warm and dry. The north is colder, but it's not really that bad. You're going to see on the map it's snowy, but that's because it looks good on the map, right? To be honest, it's rarely much below freezing. Still plenty of opportunity for that snow, so don't complain about the map too much. Even where it's hot, it's not crazy hot. Big storms are pretty minor as well. It's all relative, but really these are amounting to no more than tame thunderstorms, dust storms, and blizzards. As far as size goes, I'm thinking something along the lines of Canada or China. That includes, for the most part, the islands. It's big, but running a campaign here will likely have the party traveling the length and breadth of the land. Alright, let's vacuum up some stray points here. So what's the deepest? That's going to be Lake Omni, home, at least according to church doctrine, to Selinus. The bottom of the lake is around 7,000 feet. As a general feel, I see this as a campaign zone full of cute moments and generally a relaxed atmosphere. There is humor here. It's the kind of place for casual players who don't crave high-stakes tactical combat and dark storylines. There are definitely flump here. It's a place full of diplomatic solutions where every bad guy is redeemable. The tallest mountains are shorter than the Rockies. The Rockies. You worry about the names that you come up with not being good enough, but totally accept the most generic, fluff-ridden names in the real world. Hey DM, what are these mountains called? The Rockies. Oh, Is that lake called Lake Water? All right. The oldest, the Monument of Birth and Decay. Some believe this turquoise obelisk was once the center mass of the entire plain. 100,000 years ago, Valerith started forming around it. 90,000 years ago, it spewed out all the first seeds to sprout life upon the land. Over the course of 1,000 days, it created the world essentially as it exists now. This was the site of a major city for endless centuries before being devastated in one of the Tabaxi-Gnomish wars. It's now nothing but a sparsely occupied outpost, the destination of pilgrimages and home to goat herders. Alright, last stray thought concerning species. The field of eligible playable species seems really limited here, but it doesn't have to be. Running a game here leaves room for the player to have more choices and to shape the world a little bit with those choices. You can easily scatter small populations around. Now, they will be a little bit disadvantaged socially. You might even give them disadvantage on all the charisma checks, or most of them. It's something that you need to warn your players about and decide exactly how you're going to handle. But I would let them play just about anything and work them into the world. Now, I don't want these to be long episodes, but we do have time to zoom in on the southeast quadrant. Well, now that the map's about done, it's really more of the southern quadrant. But anyway, this is the most inhabited zone, with a total population of around 1 million. It's made up of several states, the largest three being, are you ready? Meowendor, Purador, and Katraya. Purador is a tyranny ruled by Thomas Ironclaw. Now, remember, tyranny is only entirely a bad thing under modern connotations. All it means is rule by the one. Thomas is a pretty cool cat and has done a really good job of taking care of his peeps for a long time now. Why do tyrannies work in D&D? For one thing, longevity. Through magic and the goodwill of the gods, Mr. Ironclaw hasn't really aged much since his 30s and doesn't expect to anytime soon. You also don't have a need for the central government to be heavy-handed with taxes and stuff. These tyrannies are usually, in my opinion, they would be run by high-level adventurers, and let's face it, they have a lot of ways to generate their own income, and they don't need to tax the bejeebies out of their people to be rich and powerful. The other two major states are oligarchies, each one slightly different, but run by their own matrix of influential families and institutions. All the Tabaxi states of the region have similar cultures. Hunting and non-lethal arena fighting are very popular. Religion is of middle-of-the-road importance, with a few high holy days. Celebrations are drawing in large minorities of the population. Civic life pretty much runs on a 24-hour cycle, with most people's long rests coming in the early to late afternoon. Cats are nocturnal. Just play with the theme, guys. Stick with it. The daily main meal is usually around midnight. Most jobs are apprenticeships where children begin working with their parents at a pretty young age. There is some mobility, and every potential employer is going to want to know what children you're bringing to the table to enhance productivity. Parents who can afford it send their children to school, but pretty much only for basic math and literacy skills. Rich families might include history and philosophy to these lessons. That's it. If you enjoyed the video, let me know. Next week we are doing a similar thing, just a different set of questions, another location, and a whole new feel. If you want a return trip to Valerith, you're going to have to ask for it. There's certainly a lot more to say, but these are supposed to be one-shots. I will always try to be responsive, however. I want to thank you all for stopping by. The world is a better place with you in it, and I hope that you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of the day. Cheers.